We finished restoring your 1974 Nishijin B Pachinko machine, and this setup guide will show you how to play. There are boards attached to the bottom of your machine so it's stabilized and it won't tip over. You could also put it in a cabinet. You want to make sure this part here is flipped down like that. Then right here, this metal tab, you see a notch in this horizontal metal arm. This is your drain lever, and we need to slide this over to the right to lock it in place, because right now if you were to pour balls in, they would just drain down this chute. So we're going to push this over, and now it's locked those arms. This is your lower track here, and this white part and metal part here is your lower track cover. If you ever need to get inside, there's actually two tracks in here, a front one and a back one. You just squeeze right there. It moves this slide here. Then you can lift up and pull out, take out your lower track cover. Then you can get inside to clean those tracks. To put it back, it's just reverse. There's a notch in the back of this tab, and we're going to have to slide it in. It fits inside the hole. Once it's in, then we'll squeeze, we'll drop it down, and let go. Common problem with Pachinko machines is the one ball seesaw in the wrong position. That's this white part here. It has two Pachinko balls in it that cause it to pivot up and down. Right now it's in the down position. If you get jackpots, they'll back up in your machine, they won't pay out, and it'll cause ball jams that are very difficult to unclog. So what you need to do before you ever play is make sure the seesaw is in the right position by pushing up on it. And that was the problem whenever we first got your machine. Seesaw was in the wrong position, but more importantly, back behind here, there was about 100 balls that were backed up from jackpots, and I could see a bunch over in this area here. That hole is the back of a tulip where a ball would go in and pay out. So balls would stack up inside of your tulips and not come out of the tulips because they were backed up in here and the balls didn't have anywhere to go. And it took a while to get all the balls out. Pivoting this up, trying to get a ball to go in and pivot it back down so it could get out. And the weight of the balls caused them to jam up inside the machine, and they didn't even want to flow down in here. So we had to rock the machine, tap on the machine to loosen the balls, and after about 15 minutes we got them all out. We'll go ahead and connect the battery here. This battery is controlled by this switch here. When you get a jackpot, this switch will move and it'll cause these two lights here to flash. So there's normally no lights on your machine when you're playing. The only time you'll see lights is they'll flash when they get a jackpot. We'll connect that. Now we're going to add balls to the back of your machine, but before we do, I wanted to show you this window up front here. There's that little red, white, and blue sign. When that sign drops down, that means you don't have enough balls in your top supply tray and back, and you need to add balls. And as we add balls, the sign will lift out of the way. Also, what happens when that sign drops down, right back in here, there is a little a metal bar that'll drop down, and it'll block the flow of balls from your play tray into your shooter lane. So you may have a bunch of balls here, but you're not going to be able to shoot as long as that's blocking the path and keeping them from going in there. Okay, we'll add balls to the supply tray. They'll roll down this track, around this turn, and enter into your jackpot assembly where they'll stop. Next, we'll place your bucket down here so it can catch balls that drop through this chute. Whenever you get a jackpot, the ball that's the jackpot drops here. And this chute is whenever you don't win, all the balls will drop out here. This is also where they drain when you empty that ball drain lever at the top. Some balls to the play tray. This is your flipper, and this is your finger rest bar. And the way to play Pachinko is take like your index finger, stick it up against your finger rest bar, then grab the flipper with your thumb, and then you're going to pull it all the way down and quickly let go. And you need to let go quickly because then the flipper will spring back up, which will cause it to launch a ball on the play field. If you pull down and you slowly let up, or if you use your whole hand and pull it down and just gently let up, it doesn't have enough power to launch the ball on the play field. And if you do that enough times, you're going to keep loading balls in the shooter lane, and soon enough there won't be enough power to get those out. Here's your receiving tray. Whenever your play tray is full and you need to get balls out of it, you can push this, slide this over to the left, and when you do, the balls from here will roll down into your receiving tray. If there's a bunch of balls in here, sometimes they'll jam and they won't roll down, so you just need to take a finger and kind of loosen the jam. You may also have to flip the flipper while you're loosening the jam to get them to flow. Here's your ashtray. This button over here, not common amongst most of these 1974 machines, but it had a switch on the back and some wires. It was probably wired to like a service light. So these were in casinos in Japan, Pachinko parlors, and it could be that they would press that button to potentially get some attendant to come over. The only time I've seen this on one of these old machines, it's a tension knob. It's attached to the spring. We'll see that from the back in a minute. But you have two ways to adjust how far you shoot the ball on the play field. One, depending on how far down you pull the flipper, that's how much power it'll have to launch on the play field. Then you could also fine-tune your shot by giving it the spring a little bit more tension, so you could turn it, try different angles, and do that. Typically, you're not even going to mess with that, but I just left it there anyway. If you do the flipper, that's sufficient. Okay, here's the back. That white part is where the round knob is. This long metal plate here, it has several holes in it, so you can adjust the tension of the spring there as well. Right back here is the spring. It goes back underneath here, so it's attached to the flipper. So as I pull down, you see more of the spring here. And I could also turn that knob, and as you see, it's pulling on that metal. So normally it was here, I'm pulling it, that's giving it even more strength, and I can pull it all the way, and if I let go, it'll just go back to center. Take a look at the play field. So as you shoot a ball, it'll go up your shooter lane here, all the way around, it'll hit a rebound bumper, bounce back onto the play field, and then it'll fall down, pinging off the nails. The spinners will redirect the ball, and the object of the game is to get it to go into one of these pockets, one of these tulips, or your center main attraction. And if you get it to go in any of those, you'll get paid out balls. As the balls are paid out, they fall down and hit a bell, and so you hear the bell sound, and also the lights up here will flash. Now these tulips down here, they're open, and the way they work is if they're open and a ball goes in, they close, and if they're closed like this and a ball goes in, they open up. We'll take a look at this in a minute, but if you get a ball to go in, typically in your main attraction, if these are closed, a ball going in, say this side over here will open this one, or this side here will open this one. We'll double check that. So we'll go ahead and shoot. Okay, we had a ball going here. The balls dropped down, hit a bell, paid out here, and we saw the lights flash. Now we'll zoom in and we'll take a look at all the main attraction. Okay, we're going to drop one in this side here. And you may have noticed his eye flipped over, and these two opened up. I'm going to drop one in the other side. We'll drop one back on this side. And we'll drop one in the middle. So as you can see, there's probably a lever, a pivot lever in back, and so as it's going down, one time it may go one way, one time it may go the other. So it's kind of neat. You have actually different types of things happen depending on the position of all the tulips and when a ball fell in. There's actually another pocket just out of view up above. Your top pocket, I'll drop a ball in. Okay, it opened that one. Let's drop one again in the top pocket. So it hit that pivot and did one side then the other. And these are just neat little swings. Potentially a ball could bounce through the side here, but more than likely it's going to drop through the top and then go in. Go ahead and do that in one of these. So even the side tulips pockets will open the tulips if they're closed. To open that playfield door, I had to actually lift up on this loop here. When I lift up on it, it releases the door so you can swing it open. Then if you ever need to get behind your play tray door, if someone ever put too big of marbles in here or carpet fuzz or other stuff, once that's open, there's a latch right here. You're going to push down on that latch, and as you push down, you'll swing open the play tray door. And now we have access to the shooter lane, where we can, if there was a big ball jam here, you could reach in here and pick all the balls out of the lane. Also on the back of the door is your shooter assembly, and we can see several balls in there now. You can get them out. There's this ball load lever here, but just by pulling down, and it popped one into my hand. What normally would happen is it'd be putting it in the lane. Now the way that works, as you pull down on your flipper, it's going to move another ball load lever, and you can kind of see the part pivoting right here. There's a plastic tab there, and that plastic tab pivots down, and as it pivots down, it grabs this other ball load lever and pulls it down to put your ball in the shooter lane. So you can get all the balls out that way, and if there's other stuff jammed into this shooter assembly, you can also pinch these two tabs and swing it open, and when you do, whatever's in there will fall. We'll go ahead and do that. And some of the balls fell out. To close it, you just squeeze that tight. Now when you close your door, two things you want to watch for. That plastic ball load lever needs to be above this ball load lever, so as you're closing the door, you want to, if it feels tight and it doesn't want to close, you may need to reach around from behind the machine and make sure that that lever is going to go over it and not push up against it. Also, you have this wire here, which needs to ride over that wire there. And also, as I'm closing, I will often push down on that latch to make it easier to close, and then push that tight, let go of the latch, then grab your play field door, the chrome, grab it at two parts and squeeze it closed. Now we're just going to drop in several balls so you can see jackpots from the back. First we'll do the full machine, then we'll zoom in. Okay, now we've got a jam because we've run out of balls in the supply tray. Let me show you. There are not enough balls in the supply tray, so as they come around this turn and across this track, there are two tracks. Balls are in the front track holding this lever out of the way, but there's not any balls in the back track, so that back lever dropped down, blocking this part. Now nothing will happen. So if you ever get a jackpot and the machine doesn't pay, the first thing you want to do is stop and add more balls to your supply tray, because you probably need them there. And then, as you can also see, the seesaw is in the wrong position. So when we add balls, it should reset automatically, but if it doesn't, you need to reset it manually with that pin. Otherwise your machine won't work. Thank you so much, and we sure hope you enjoy your machine.